Today on Teuty's track analysis, we have the track of the day for January 26th, Fish Dreams by Oclavukixus and Ripfish. Fish Dreams is a tech track with the surface road as well as sausage blocks. It has two finishes. The risky finish needs about 320 speed to reach, and taking the safe finish with this speed will cost you roughly 0.4 of a second. There's also a speed check in the track which requires roughly 290 speed to cross, though there is an alternate path to take if needed. With these things in mind, I would rate the difficulty a 6 out of 10. My best lap had a time of 45.795, which was over 2 seconds ahead of the gold medal time and 1 second behind the author medal time. Overall, I enjoyed the track. It had simplistic but very pleasing scenery, as well as a very smooth driving route. So on the plus-minus rating scale, I give Fish Dreams a ++ rating. For the analysis and comparison today, we are using the current world record Ghost, which was driven by Pole, and they had a 44.151. This is 1.644 seconds ahead of my PB. Right at the start, we'll take slightly different lines, and that'll give the world record a slightly better inside line for this turn, which again gives them a better inside line for the next turn. These differences don't cost me any speed, but they do cost me distance and time in general. And for this drift right here, we'll see that we started at about the same time, but going through, I hold drift a little bit too long and end up going a little bit too wide for the turn. The same could be said for the upcoming drift as well. We started at about the same time, but again, I'm holding it much too hard, and I will end up going very far to the left here. And we'll see once we get to the upcoming checkpoint that speed isn't everything, because at this checkpoint, I have 3 extra speed than the world record Ghost, despite taking a much worse line at the previous drift. Keep in mind that this also isn't where the world record Ghost currently would be. They'd probably be another 5 to 6 car lengths ahead of this. I've already pulled the world record back once to match my pace, and it again has pulled ahead. Despite my speeds being the same or better than the current world record, the lines have just been that different. For the next drift, again, we'll start the drift at about the same spot, but I am a little bit too far inside, and that'll result in a slightly slower exit. For the next drift, the world record starts it slightly earlier than I do. We are on very different lines as well, though I don't think that's the biggest difference in this turn. I feel the biggest difference here again is really my exit. I'm just holding drift much too long. The world record straightens out much faster than I do, and that'll give them much faster exit speed. Because of our lines, it doesn't look like I'm losing that much pace, but we definitely are losing pace here. Again, for this speed check jump, like I said earlier, about 290 speed to make this one consistently. You can make it with slightly lower, around 280 I found, but it's very inconsistent. You really need to find a perfect line in order to do it, and it's just otherwise very risky. For the drift after this jump, I struggled with it a lot. Obviously, I'm pretty wide here, world record, kind of going right down the middle of it. When I start my drift, I'll end up hitting this dirt/penalty sand on the outside. I don't really know what surface it is, to be honest. But, and then on the exit, again, I will hit some more of that stuff. All of that just results in a very poor line through this, and just an awful drift to end it all off. But pulling the world record back again, we're on very similar pace yet again, and for this drift right here, again, starting on very similar lines, and starting the drift at the same time. But of course, like all the other drifts, I hold it a little bit too long, don't straighten out fast enough, and again, will end up being a little bit wide on the exit, and losing a bit more speed. For the final section, we'll see very different lines for me in the world record, with the world record being pretty far inside here. They get a little hop, and then they will auto slide basically this entire turn here. Obviously, a much faster and cleaner line than I have taken here. For this jump here, you can see the world record jumping kind of off the side here. That's really to reduce the air time. As the faster you are, you jump pretty high into this, so it does save a little bit. I wouldn't really recommend going for it unless you're hunting for a top spot. As I mentioned earlier as well, about 320 speed will get you into the risky finish on a consistent basis. So something I took away from today's video would be that speed isn't really everything. At some checkpoints I was ahead on speed, and some checkpoints I was behind on speed, but overall it was down to the drifts in general. It seems that I need to work on my drifts a little bit. I am a little bit too aggressive, and I need to release them a little bit earlier. This will, of course, give me a little bit of extra speed on the exits of the drifts, but overall just better lines in general. To end off, I just want to thank everyone who came over from that Reddit post yesterday. Know there are quite a few people that came by, so much appreciated to Oso Guinea Pig who posted that there. And again, thanks to anyone who came over and decided to subscribe. And hey, if you liked today's video, be sure to like the video and subscribe. Check the description for links to my Twitch and Discord if you're interested in joining or following those. And be sure to check out all the other track analysis videos already out on the channel. That's it for today though. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next track analysis.